Okay, and that's the look. We did it. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all get on it. Girl, I forgot to mention concealing the brows. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to use my NARS concealer. I'm going to warm it up on my wrist so that way I can use it and control it better. But whatever concealer you're using, you can just like warm it up on your wrist so you can get a better application. If you go straight from the tube, it's a little bit hard. But since mine is a brush, it's an e.l.f. one, it's a little bit smaller. Just start a little lower than right up against your brow, right? Then for me, I'm going to take a very thin brush and I'm going to start working my way up to clean that eyebrow. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm looking at a mirror, so that is why. But if I did not do this, I would just dip my brush into the concealer. I will start about right here. This is really just cleaning up the product that you put in your brows. Sometimes we make thick, chunky brows and people don't really like that, but you're just cleaning up what you did. Okay, see? I like to do a little in the front and a lot in the back because that's where the arch is. Again, your concealer now can act as your brow base. I wanted to say your brow primer, blah, 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 but your brow base. Any other brush other than that thin one, and you're just gonna brush that onto the lid. Brush it out, brush it down. Because you also want to blend that out, right? Like you don't want it to be a lot. See the difference? You can also take this brush, go into that. Okay, so now that we have our brow primer on, which is just our concealer, we're going to take a setting powder. We're going to do setting powder first with any brush. I have a bunch of Morphe brushes because sometimes them beauty blenders don't really work. Nonetheless, here we go. Powder, press, swipe that over your whole thing because that sets the concealer that we just used as our eyeshadow primer underneath our eyebrow. See that? Okay. Next step, 3 brushes for your eyebrow, your eyeshadow. This might look a little crazy, but I'm going to use these 2 palettes. I'm going to show you how I use these 3 brushes because I don't really like a lot of concealer or powder. Girl, I'm talking crazy, but you get what I'm saying, right? We're going to take this powder. I'm going to take this lightest shade. I have 2 light shades, one from this palette, which is that one right there, and then this one right there. I'm going to go with this one first. I'm going to just set that in the crease. We call this our transition color or our blending color. I'm going to put that right there. We're going to use that later too, so just sweep that over. Again, it looks a little messy, but we're going to be cool. Okay, you see how this one, we're going to go in with this color that's closer to my skin color. To be any certain way, just blend, which is just swiping the brush from right to left, left to right on your brow bone. That's my brow bone right there. Go in there like that. As you can see, I'm focusing it mainly on the brow bone because this is that concealer was kind of bright, so that's how we tone down that concealer right there. We're gonna go in with that again and do the same thing. Stop there and then brush to blend. I'm going to use that one as well with the 3rd brush. So we're going to swipe on top.
I went a little crazy, so I'm going to dust it off on my wrist.
Okay, this is a different brush. As you can see, it's a little smaller. We're going to go in with this dark brown, and we're gonna go with a dot, and we're gonna start right here on that end on our lid. Do it again, one dot. Start back here first, work our way in, just to deepen up that color a little bit. Go back in with this second brush in this color, place that right there on this lid so nothing is naked.
Okay.
That's enough for me. This is where we go back in with that lighter shade because I like the inner corner pop of color. Back in with this one. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna just pat that right there because that's all you need. Just to make it look a little lighter. And so now we're gonna go in with our foundation. Whatever foundation that you like, that's the one we're gonna go in. For me lately, I have been into skin tints. I have one from Maybelline, which is Super Stay. Shout out to Maybelline Super Stay. And then we also have Fenty Beauty. I like skin tints because, you know, it's a lighter formula than what we normally use for foundation. But I'm going to shade this up. This is a skin tint, buildable, so you don't have to put so much on if you do not like it. I'm going to start with about, that was like 3 to 4 dots. There we go. What I'm going to do is warm it up on my hand, something like this, and I'm going to swipe it over my face. You can also take your brush. I'm using a Real Techniques brush. I'm going to rub that into the tint on my wrist because you want to warm the product up. It's kind of like it's been in the bottle, it's been cold. You want to you want it to be evenly distributed on your face. So warm it up just a little bit. Then we're gonna go in and press this into our face. Very buildable. So if it's like, oh girl, it doesn't look like you added anything, we can add more. So just start with this part. I try to do my best to avoid this area in my forehead and my chin. So really kind of like working around the places of my face that will not have a lot of concealer. For me, it depends on what event I'm attending in regards to how much makeup I wear, how much coverage I would like, and what I'm willing to do for my foundation or for my concealer. Okay, so that there is our foundation. We're gonna then go in with our second layer. So I like to think of makeup in 4 layers. We have our skin prep, maybe some primer, then our foundation is our second layer, and then we're gonna go in with our third layer, which is concealer, contour, and liquid blush if you like liquid blush. So let me show you how I like to do it. I have the NARS concealer. I'm going to first start under my eyes, and so I'm going to start here first and then go over here. I'm kind of messing up, so give me a second. There we go. That's better. Okay, and then forehead. Okay, pro tip for your concealer. Concealer has its best coverage after it has dried down. You want this to be the last thing you blend out in the third layer of makeup that you apply. So if you have a fan, a hand fan, or a fan that you go like this with, let it dry down for 1 minute to 2 minutes because it will give you the most coverage. Again, depending on the event, depending on how much coverage or natural look that you want, you can do that. Beauty, I have 2 shades. You want to warm this stick up for sure because it's a stick. So there it is, and then I go on my, shout out to my husband because he brought me this mic, so the quality is better. Okay, so like I said, girl, warm contour on your wrist, pat the what's on your wrist into your face. Contour here warms your face back up from how flat it looks with just foundation. So I like to add some on my cheek, and then I like to add some to my forehead. And I'm going to show you what else I like to do. I have another contour stick. I'm going to warm up in that same spot, and then I'm going to press 2 dots on my forehead like that. Okay, So as our concealer is drying down, we're going to go in with some form of a contour brush and swipe our bronzer up. Okay, so we're going to press into our face. We do not want to swipe down. We want to try to swipe up, making sure that we like press this to stay either in the place that we applied it, or we are swiping up like a brush, like a little bit. And same on this side. Press it up, press it up, press it in. Do not go down because you want this to chisel the face. We're going to press that product in and we're going to take it up like that. I'm going to use a napkin right here and wipe some of that concealer off. I'm going to start that process all over again. I'm going to press until it's like kind of blended out. I'm trying to make sure my finger is not in the way. Run that down my nose just a little bit. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so the coverage is where I want it. So it's like, okay, that's cool. Now buff out the edges, because as my grandma would say, as soon as they could tell you wearing makeup, it's not doing its job. Okay. That's buffed out enough for me because this is supposed to highlight. Then we're going to go in with the chin. Also swipe off the So what I like to do is start down here, create the transition or the edge that is very smooth. And when I say smooth, I mean like this. Like it's gonna blend easier than if we left it like that. So we're gonna press that product into our face. We're gonna blend it over here. You see what we did? So we're gonna do that over here, but I'm gonna finish this eye with you. Okay. Concealing and like blending out our makeup, everything is about blending. We want to blend so every line is non-existent. Where one thing in and another thing starts, we should not be able to detect that. Okay, so after you blend out the concealer from this to this, you want some form of pressed powder or loose setting powder or setting powder. I have pressed powder and I have loose setting powder. I'm going to show you how I like to do this. Any form of a brush such as this, rub your brush into the pressed powder, look slightly up and press it in. Why are we doing this? This will also be our fourth layer of makeup, all the powders. But we are doing this so that the makeup is not creasing and or separating on our face. Because we have natural creases. Makeup wants to crease, but we don't want it to look visible, like when the makeup starts looking crummy. Not cute. So we're gonna press this pressed powder underneath our eye, by our nose. Okay, after you do your pressed powder, you could take another flat brush, powder, loose powder, get it on the brush, rub it in a little, and set. All right, you might be saying, girl, that looks crazy on the side. Here we go. What we have on our hand remaining with our brush that we used already, we're going to swipe that into those edges that we have from the concealer into the bronzer. And we're going to just press until we don't see the line, such as that. Giving our face some more color, blending out that. We're also going to set the contour cream with a powder. Not this brush. Let's use, I thought I had a different brush, but let's use this brush right here. We're going to use this brush. And we're just going to press that into our face on the edges. This is also for the forehead because you like, it needs to be blended. Here we go. All right. After we have done powders, I'm a powder girl for blush, so that's what we're gonna do next. I have 2 powder blushes. This one, more like orangey pink, and then we have like super pink. I'm gonna do super pink because that's just what I'm feeling right now. I'm gonna do the top one. See how pigmented that is? Do not put that on your face. Rub it in the middle of your hand. We're gonna take as much off as we can, and then we're gonna press right here. If you like it in the front, you can do that in the front. It's just more natural for it to like raise up to the face, and then you can even put it a little bit on your forehead. After that, you're done. Before I'm done, I'm going to add some glitter. It's in this little thing. I'm going to also do the same thing. I'm going to put, oh, my nail's kind of long, so I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, it did. A little bit, rub it right here, and then press that into my face. One last tip before I go and finish my whole face. Those brushes that we use to do our eyeshadow, same brushes we're going to use for our under eye. You can use it with the same amount of product that's on there, so it's not too much under eye product, but you can also use it for, you can add more. So I'm going to add more with this brush in this shade right here. And just like that, we're done. I'm gonna come back with everything else. The girl you has come to worship you. Open up your mouth and worship our God. You are holy. Girl, I could put these lashes on in my sleep. I'm like quite sure of it. Like, I should just put it on with my eyes closed. Okay, I get that. Four steps: skin prep, foundation, concealer, contour, powders, and then your face is set. If you decide to do the lashes or the eyeshadow or lip, this will be the step at the end. So yeah, bye guys. Okay, so this is the look after the little short tutorial. Y'all get on it.